G'day everyone, I'm Wayne Dowson from Wayne Dowson Fine Art. This is my latest painting, a beautiful, majestic and powerful sea eagle. So let's take a look at how I did it. I like to sketch in pencil on the canvas just to get a rough outline. Nothing too fancy. And try not to make too many mistakes. It does get messy when using pencil on canvas. Smudges really easy. And this particular photograph that I worked from, it's from an Italian amateur photographer. His name's Ciro Romaldi, and I found it on the internet and asked for permission to paint it. I thought it was a brilliant shot. So you could see there that with the head of the eagle I got that a little wrong. It's a little too big, so it makes a bit of a mess, but it doesn't matter. You can oil paint over anything really. So then I just start to block out the painting, starting with the head and going from dark to light, but it doesn't really matter. You'll see that I change as I paint other parts of the painting. As long as the oils are wet, it doesn't much matter. Light, dark, dark, light. But as I go further along, you'll see that especially with the feathering, you know, those light highlights are left last, and the paint needs to be dry. It makes it a lot easier. So painting like that will take a couple of days, a few days. So just get a feel for the face of the eagle as I block it in, and keep adding more and more detail. And then once I get the head right and how I like it, I move on. And now I've just started painting some of the sky around there just to get the outer edges nice and clean, and an idea of how his face will look. And then I'll move on. You can see I smudge. That's the beauty of painting wet. You can just smudge it or use your fingers, and everything just gets melded in. And I'm always using a couple of brushes. See, with the feathers just dark, then light, dark, light. And it'll often change the drawing from the drawing. You know, once I start to block the painting in, the sketch is just very, very rough. It's easier to then paint and change the drawing. Quit using fingers, finger painting. So basically I'm getting light and dark, making sure that, you know, those areas that are light, the light source is in front of the seagull. So obviously as the wing bends around, it goes darker and darker. Now I'm just getting a little detail in the feathers, you know, those major feathers, just getting them placed in the right spot. Just keep adding detail on the feathers, blocking more in. And I do it in sections so that I make sure I get those main feathers in the right spot. Because if you make a mistake, it's just going to be too hard. It'll create a big muddy mess. And there you go, I'm just working down the tail, the legs, not adding too much light. That light that I'm adding now, when the painting's fully finished, then you'll just tie it all in. The eagle will stand out from the background once it's all tied in. So you can see with the tail feathers, it's mainly the dark part that I'm painting in now, and then I'll hit it with white later on when it's dry. So there's a bit of planning really. But what a fantastic photo it was. Love the curl in the wing, those fingers. And so with the water, I've painted the blue around the eagle so that it's all neat and tidy, and now I'm just painting a lighter blue, so that doesn't matter, this is going to go straight over that darker blue. How quick am I? This has been sped up 7 times, I think. So blocking all that blue in. You can see I was painting down, but obviously the water runs across the board, so I make sure all my brush strokes go that way when I'm finished. And then to get that nice water look, I just smudge everything. Again, that's the beauty of just painting it whilst it's wet. Adding more and more detail, all the ripples and a few different colours. And there you can see I'm adding dark in the water as well. And then coming back here, the painting was dry, and then I added the last few details, and that's it, the finished work. Beautiful seagull catching an eel from the water.